Welcome to Propfirm Trades. This is a channel where we teach you how to trade. Well, share my trades with you that are profitable, and I'll talk also about my trading journey. I've been a trader for like this my fifth year right now. Started trading somewhere around 2020, September, October, somewhere there. And I've had my fair share of losses and I've had my fair share of wins. But I want to teach you some things that have made me become profitable. If you're still having a losing streak, so pay attention so that you also can have a winning streak, so that you don't have to blow your account. But I want you to be profitable in this, because this is one of the nicest ways, if I may say, that you can actually make income. This is a way that you can use to make passive income. Well, you can make money at the comfort of your own home without anyone, bossing you around or making you do things that you don't want to do. So, okay, let's draw a trend line, shall we? So the best thing that you have to do is plot some points. I use ray lines instead of trend lines when drawing, because when you use a ray line, that line that you draw, it will always be there. On this one, I'm using trading view for me to draw my trend line. So I'm actually drawing on Crash 500. But if you trade currencies, you can actually use this method to trade whatever pair that you'll be trading with. But the most important thing that you have to remember is that you need to back test, you need to go draw your own trend lines and see if this is working for you. So you first look for this is for an upward movement of price. As you can see, price is making higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, and the ultimate higher high. So when you want to draw an upward trend line, it means you look for these draws, you look for the downward movement of price wherever it ends, and that becomes your first point. Then you look for a second point like that one there. Okay, and that's our third touch. Somewhere here, this is a third touch. So we can simply plot that. As you can see, you're done plotting your trend line. So price came and touched this point and went up, came down, touched this point, went up, came down, touched this point and went up. So price started here, maybe started here, then there. You can actually use this third touch as your entry point. If our trend line started from here, or maybe let's just concentrate from where our trend line started from. This is our first point, that's the second point. So when we get to the third touch, we look for other confluencing factors. What do I mean by confluencing factors? You can look for a support or a resistance. Let me just try and draw a resistance line right there. As you can see, price touched this point and came down, and it came again to that point, hesitated, then came down, then it came to that point again but broke through, then it came down to that same point. And this time, this is a confluencing factor, because this was a resistance point, this was also another resistance point, but this one then became a support point where price came to bounce off from, then it went up. So this is a confluencing factor. So since we can't maybe use this as our entry, but we can use this as our entry because our trend line was supposed to start from here. So it means you can put your buy from there. And you might be asking, so where do I take my profit? Normally, you take your profit from this zone right here, where the peak ends. This is where you take your profit. You can take your profit there, or you can partially take some profits, then leave your trade running, and then follow through with a stop loss. As you can see, it went up all the way to there, then came down to that same resistance that's now being a support, and it tested that, went up, came back to test it again and went up. So this can be used as our buy position. till the price goes up. So you can actually leave some trades running as you take profits along the way. Your ultimate entry point is when the price comes down, but instead of bouncing off, as you can see, it broke through our trend line. Well, you can't be having some buys anymore here. So if it breaks through your trend line, the nicest thing is that you can also wait for it to retest the trend line again, then short the price this time into a sell. And this, my guy, will be your profit, all of this. So it depends on how big your account is. If your account is really big, you can actually make some money, but still you can grow your account. So let me try and look for a place where we can get a sell. Yeah, like that day. I think let me just try and plot and see. We can get maybe from there. Oh, okay. I left my. Let me delete this one. So let me see if I can get a place where I can plot for a sell. Let me check out this one right here. I think this is okay for us to start plotting our trend line, so we can see if we can short the market. So we go and get a line from there, and there we mark up from the high point where the price reached, and then our line would have to go through there because that's the second. So this basically, this is where our first touch point is. This is our second touch point, so we can use that to draw a trend line such that when price comes to retest again, like here, and touches this point, you can actually short the market and go with that. You see, just trail with the stop loss or take your profit when you feel like you're okay. Then, as you can see here, it broke through this candlestick. It will be difficult for you to just short the market share without any confirmation, because this is high. It's a high volume candlestick. As you can see, it's a huge candlestick. It's not small. So you'd rather wait for the market to confirm for you that it wants to go back down before you put another entry. So basically, this is how you draw upward and downward trend lines, and how you use them to enter and exit the market. This would have been a marvelous. Okay, maybe let me see if I can get another example again so that you guys can actually learn. One of the most important things that you need to do is going back to test this, going back to see if this also works for you. You can open your chart and try and draw some trend lines. So after you've drawn your trend lines, like there, we look for, this time it's a week, so we look for the highest point in that week. Super. So there's a wick there. This is our first point. This is a second touch there. If price comes back to this one, we'd want to short the market, but this time the price just came around to just play around. Let me see if there's anything there. So you can see, even as you draw your trend lines, doesn't necessarily mean that price will touch that and just come down. No, you also, okay, so this trend line was actually perfect for, as you can see, this one with a first touch, second touch, then a third touch, it just played around but broke through. So as you can see, this shows you that you need to be careful too. So because you might be thinking this is good for me, then you realize you're losing money. So you need to be just careful, practice proper risk management, and also make use of your stop loss. There's a week there. Yeah, some of these ones a bit off for us, but basically that's how you use trend lines. That's how you draw trend lines. So I hope this has been something that's informative for you so that you can learn how to draw trend lines and how to use them to enter and exit the market. So until next video, ciao.